Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, of course, and there is so many angles to this Real Housewives of Atlanta story involving Kenya Moore and Brit Eady. I do want to talk about influencer Ming Lee because she's not even on the show. Ming Lee will be featured in the upcoming season of Basketball Wives, and Ming Lee is being dragged into this entire story. And I want to also start out with Porsha. I think she's being loud and wrong. She's giving Sheree Whitfield when Sheree would get stuff mixed up, like back during season 4 when the ladies were in South Africa. But anyway, I'm going to stay on task. Before I do get into the details, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on these clips that I'm going to play for you are allowed. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up the Porsha angle really quickly. I'm sure you've seen this clip where she is trying to say that a housewife actually gave the explicit photos to Kenya. And Porsha is going to also say something that I disagree with, and that is about Britt Eady's age at the time. Of course, was I there when she was doing the oral favors allegedly? No. But I doubted Homegirl would be underage, or else we'd be dealing with a much more serious situation. But let's go ahead and play this clip and I'll come back with my commentary. I'm going to mute my mic so that you don't experience an echo.
There is a housewife still on the show right now who gave Kenya that nude information. No, I'm going to expose that. Everybody needs to know who she is. That was crazy to me. And I said, y'all know something about Charles? Like that, you know what I'm saying? Just playing with her. But I guess I'm a good actress or hit a sore spot. There was a lot of going back and forth at the table. And at that point, Kenya says, peasant. She picks up what looked like a damn serving spoon and start hitting her damn glass like this. Attention, attention, attention. What, girl? What? Let's sip on that. Put a pin in that too. There is a housewife still on the show right now who gave Kenya that nude information. No, I'm going to expose that. Everybody needs to know who she is. That was crazy to me. And I said, y'all know something about Charles? Like that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Porsha, in my opinion, she's insinuating that it's Angela Oakley because, and I know that this clip is edited, but she says that there is a housewife who's still on the show right now that gave Kenya those pictures of Brit Eady. And then it cut to her saying, yeah, I know something about Charles Oakley. So I don't know if that was like a subliminal that it was Angela Oakley. I don't really think so far. I don't think that it was an Atlanta housewife who gave Kenya those pictures. Kenya is saying that it was a private investigator whom she hired that found the photos. It has to be, because when I go on P-Hub or some other P sites, like I can't find anything of Britt Eady. And Britt is saying that also in the comment section on the Neighborhood Talk, you know, what pictures of mine are on the internet. I can't find them. So I don't think that they are some public photos that you can just screenshot and keep in your phone handy. I'm convinced so far still that Kenya did hire a private investigator. I do think what's whack on Porsha's part is that she's clearly deflecting. You have this storyline where you married Simon Guobadia. You started dating him when he was still legally married to Fallon. I know that it appears, in my opinion, that both Simon and Fallon were cheating on each other because meanwhile Fallon was pregnant with another man's baby. But you're divorcing him. He's literally detained by ICE right now. And all you can do is, you know, talk about other people and not your situation. In her scenes, Porsha doesn't even talk about, you know, how she has to walk the baby Pilar through all of these changes. Pilar has her dad, Dennis, who's actively in her life. Her mom marries another man. They're living with him. Now they're separated and he's not there. They're getting a divorce. She could make that her storyline where she's trying to break things down for Pilar. But all she does is stay in everyone else's business. So Kenya responded to this video. And here is what Kenya had to say. Kenya says, absolutely no one on the show gave me anything. Stop using my situation for clickbait. Porsha responds, that's a lie. We talk day and night, and I personally went to network and production and fought for you before you showed her underage explicit pics. I also went after as well because I was hurt you had to leave. I checked on you because I cared and care. I'm not your enemy, Kenya. So I am not convinced that those were Brit's underage photos. I think that Porsha is saying that because in Brit's confessionals in one episode, she did say that she was a video vixen when she was a minor or something. If she was a video vixen while a minor, then there's much more deeper issues that we need to talk about. Like the rappers that were casting her in their videos, did they know she was underage? I honestly think that Britt was saying that almost as a joke because she's trying to joke about her age, whatever that may be. I assume she's like in her mid to late 30s. I mean, she's not old. But I took that as almost like a joke. Like, oh yeah, I was a video vixen when I was a minor. Like she's trying to, make jokes about her age. That was how I took it. And she could have really been a minor, but if she was, then that was much, much deeper issues. So now, shout out to the Housewives Nightcap. They interviewed Brit Eady and the Bravo Shade Room. This is the Instagram page that I'm getting this tea from. Shout out to the Bravo Shade Room. They broke it up in clips where she talks about she had to be in therapy for days after Kenya showed the photos. And she is convinced that Kenya was not threatened by her. I do want to talk about that before we get into the Ming Lee of it all. And I am going to play this clip for you. Please hit the like button. Thank you.
I was a little disappointed in some of the ladies, and I thought they would have my back more. I thought they would be more supportive. And I just feel that because she has been around for so long, I think nobody wanted to just step on any toes or just, not have her back. And wrong is wrong. And a lot of these beautiful women, they have a family. And I'm just like, how would you feel if you were put in the situation that I was put in? Mm-hmm. And that's when I'm just like, let's use logic. Nobody would want to go through what I experienced. And I'm so grateful that I was not in that room when that happened, because that would have been a moment where she was looking to trigger me and she was looking for me to act out. She was not threatened by me, because you don't do something like that if you're threatened. So for her to do that, it was all premeditated. She had no, she was never interested in making things right. She wanted to embarrass me. She wanted to humiliate me. And this was her big moment. So why would you do this at your big moment for someone that you're threatened by? Why? Why would you do that?
Did some of the other ladies though rally around you? Because I know, like in that moment,
Kelly rallied. She left. All the ladies were disappointed. I mean, a couple of them stood back. Maybe Drew and I think Angela. No, she did come, but they knew it was wrong. But I felt that they still wanted to support her, and that's what I didn't like. Sometimes you have to stand on business and say this isn't right, and hold your friends accountable. If someone is really truly your friend, they're going to tell you when you're wrong. Not sugarcoat it, not pretend like it's okay or she deserved it. No, wrong is wrong. And that's why I was disappointed with some of the ladies that they were just like, well, no, you couldn't imagine being put in that position. And that's why I was just a little hurt by the ladies. And it was a very emotional time for me when I needed everyone's support. And I'm grateful that in that time, Kelly was there for me. Cynthia had my back. Porsha, which was a friend of, well, still a friend of Kenya, she came there and was just like, I couldn't do this. And, it's an unfortunate situation. And I'm so glad that I wasn't there, because she wanted to potentially take this opportunity from me. And she was like, see, you should be gone. I was a little disappointed in some of the ladies, and I thought they would have my back more. I thought they would be more supportive. And I just feel that because she has been around for so long, I think nobody wanted to just step on any toes or just, not have her back, and wrong is wrong. And a lot of these beautiful women, they have a family. And I'm just like, how would you feel if you were put in the situation that I was put in? And that's when I'm just like, let's use logic. Nobody would want to go through what I experienced. And I'm so grateful that I was not in that room when that happened, because that would have been a moment where she was looking to trigger me.
And this is where I say Britt Eady is not very intelligent, because I've said this in previous videos where I've recapped the episodes. Brit Eady is clear that she's watched the show over the years. She's watched the show during the seasons that Kenya has been a part of it. Kenya joined season 5. And when they went to that restaurant, the bank, Britt says about Kenya, she says, I didn't send for her. And Kenya says, thank you for using my catchphrase. So Britt, you definitely watched the show. And where she seems to be kind of stupid is she's not able to separate her watching Kenya as a reality TV star to now becoming Kenya's fellow cast member and coworker. She can't separate the two, because if she could, she would have told herself, okay, I'm going to get to know her as my coworker, as someone I'm filming with, and I'm going to just kind of tuck in the back of my head all of the images and scenes that I remember of her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because I feel like she came into this season with preconceived notions that she was not going to like Kenya more based upon watching her on the show. And I think that that's a problem. And even after she starts filming with her, she's still not separating the two different dynamics of which she knows Kenya. She's only holding on to the one where she's been a viewer. And to me, that's a little unintelligent. And then for her to say that she's glad that she was not at Kenya Moore's hair spa event because Kenya was trying to trigger her. Britt, you were trying to trigger her first at the bank restaurant when you said that you have your pow pow and you have whips, and you gonna learn today. You gonna learn. Was Kenya supposed to just start singing or dancing after you said all of that? What kind of reaction were you expecting her to give you? She ignored you, pretended she did not hear you. She walked away and she got in Porsha's car. So I feel like it's so one-sided, her entire commentary on this. Now, was Kenya so much threatened by Britt? I know that Kenya went on the Tamron Hall show and said that her motherhood was threatened. Do I think that Kenya was scared that Britt could really do her harm or whoop her? I don't think so. She was pissed. When she did her speech at her hair spa event, she said, someone tried to take me down and I'm sick of it. And then she let me know that she had a pow pow. She was mad that you would even go there with her. But I consider you a lucky person, Britt. And really, it's not a question of whether or not Kenya felt threatened by you. You said that. You said those words. And she had to have felt concerned. Anyone would have. But you're saying because she did not shy or cry away from you when you showed up with flowers means she wasn't threatened. She probably isn't scared that you could really do harm to her, but it's the fact that you would even mention the pow pow. Now, some people say Britt didn't really threaten Kenya. She referenced a pow pow. That's not normal conversation. That's not even normal conversation when you are arguing with someone, when you don't like them. That's not normal to mention that you have a pow pow. Now let's get into the Ming Lee of it all. And I may do a separate video for the other clips because I feel like they're different subtopics. Like she talks about her friendship with Kelly, calling her a flip-flopper, and whether or not she would film with Kenya. So I would do a separate video for that. But I want to get into Ming Lee. So I follow Ming Lee. She has a YouTube channel. I think she's great. She is currently dating Tai Young, the retired WNBA player and coach and influencer. I met Tai Young, like, June will be 4 years. I met her in 2021. I remember it was like around that time when like the jab came out to help deal with Carnival 19. And because I remember like around that time I had gotten, the jab, and I had to get the second jab. I remember that when I was meeting Tai Young. She came to Detroit to do a pop-up shop for her clothing line. And I bought something, and it was at a shoe store in Royal Oak, Michigan, if you're familiar with the Metro Detroit area. And the sneaker store was really cool, and it had pictures of Aaliyah and Biggie, and Ty had a DJ in there. It was really cool vibes. So anyway, they're going to be featured on the upcoming season of Basketball Wives. And so Ming Lee is not even on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Reportedly, Kenya Moore tried to get her on the show because they're friends. I believe she's also friends with Porsha. But in any event, she ended up filming for Basketball Wives. So she is being brought into the mix. And here is because some people are saying that perhaps Ming Lee gave the pictures to Kenya Moore. And Ming Lee says, I wasn't drunk. What I said verbatim was, if I had given those pictures or videos to Kenya, it would have been the ones I have in my phone of you at that party. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those are not on the internet, nor have I ever shared or shown them to anyone. And I've had every phone of mine since 2011. Britt, you're 1 year younger than me, so you were well over age. And this narrative that I'm mad because we dated the same person is complete BS. One of my best friends used to be his fiance, which you were cool with before you even dated him. So stop it. I'm going to put a pin in that. The him is rapper Rick Ross, in case you did not hear. So back to Ming's comment. I don't have a problem with you, like I said, to your face, and I would never leak or share any pictures or videos of you, period. You had a past, so what? Just tell everybody your hoe got deleted and you're married now. For your information, that image from that video is still on the internet as we speak. Like I said, the internet told your business, not me. Now leave me alone. Britt Eady responds. She says the internet didn't tell Kenya anything because where is it all over the internet? Ming told me herself in a drunken night at an event in Miami for a whole hour that she saved explicit images of me in her phone, saved for a rainy day. That's very weird to admit to. She ain't innocent either. Can't help we dated the same people. Okay, so this is getting deeper than the ocean to involve Ming Lee. And it started out with, I want to say there was a post that Ming Lee made, and someone commented and said, oh, I heard you gave Kenya those pics. And Ming said that that basically wasn't true. Now, they have a sordid past. They both dated Rick Ross, reportedly. Shout out to her for Hot Tea. I watched her video where she talked about Ming Lee dating him first, and then the next year, around 2015, and then the next year, Britt was posted with Rick Ross as well. I'm sure it's a small world, especially if you are trying to date rappers. I'm sure it's even an even smaller world, smaller dating world. But I would hope that Ming Lee definitely would not show pictures or give out photos of Britt in a compromising position. I don't think that's cool at all, especially if you are a very uninhibited person, aka a freak, and you like to get yours, you aim to please. Please don't show any pictures or videos of me giving oral favors or anything that I'm doing for you, okay? So I don't think that's cool at all. I think that's whack. And I'm just hoping that Ming wouldn't do that. I don't really think so. Now, I do agree with Britt. I don't think that the internet has any videos of her. Like, I literally went on the hub and typed in her name. Like, I couldn't find anything. So I don't think that her past allegedly as a webcam girl, I don't think that she started like a P-Hub account and saved those images there. I don't know if she has an OnlyFans. I don't think so. But I don't think she has started any accounts with her content as a webcam girl. So I'm still believing that Kenya legit hired a private investigator because I would imagine the PI would have tools to find those. So I definitely think that Britt is correct on that. The internet doesn't have anything on her. These two, it seems like they have an issue with each other more so on Britt's end, and Britt is trying to bring her into the mix. We don't know if she knew the person who left that comment under Ming Lee's post to get the party started. I think that Britt is just in her mind trying to think, how would Kenya have found those? She's probably thinking about all the people that she assumes does not like her, and she thinks that it's Ming Lee. But what do you think? Do you think that Ming was involved? I think that right now it's looking kind of like a stretch, and Britt is just, what's the term? Grasping at straws. That's what it's giving. And if she thinks Ming is just a little sore for not being on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, she filmed Basketball Wives. And honestly, I think her and Ty are going to make the show pop. I'm going to definitely check it out. It comes out in early May in just a few weeks. But I really think that Britt, she's all over the place in her thought process. And now it's extending to Ming. But what do you all think of this angle of the story, her involving Ming Lee and Porsha, I think, who has it totally wrong that a housewife gave Kenya that info. I think she's just trying to be performative for the show. She's not even talking about her own real life storyline, and it just looks silly. Like a lot of people have said, she is giving friend of the show. I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. Oh my gosh, so Thursday night, I went and saw this new movie called Drop. It's from Blumhouse, if you're into horror films. This isn't horror, it's more so suspense. And it was definitely a trip. The story gets kind of deep about why she's getting these drops on her phone, telling her to unalive her date, her first date with the guy. So you have to find out the why behind it, why she is getting these messages about him. And I was trying to figure it out the entire time. There's a bad guy in her house with her adorable little boy while she's out on the date. Y'all, you have to check out the movie if you're into suspense and thrillers. Definitely go see Drop. I am about to go to the gym, and then later on I'm going to go see The Amateur. The Amateur stars Larry Fishburne and Rami, I believe his last name is Malik. And Rami plays a guy, some bad guys unalive his wife, and he wants to seek revenge. And he's not really a trained pow pow person, so he's going to gear up to do so. And Larry Fishburne is going to help him. So I cannot wait to see that. But I hope that you all are having a fantastic weekend. The sun is out, but I know that it's chilly out. Y'all know it was just snowing here Thursday. So we're going to see what Mother Nature gives. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.